Hi, my name is Nathan Loop, and welcome to my network automation video series. My goal in this series is to take viewers from the basic concepts of network programmability all the way up through more advanced topics. One struggle I had when I was learning more about network automation was that it's such a vast topic with so many different technologies. I had a really hard time just starting and digging in and finding what was applicable to me and how I could use it in a day-to-day scenario. So what I want to do here is take all that information about many different topics and present it in more of a unified space. And I think this is also going to be really useful because the network world in general is moving more towards this idea. You're starting to see people like Cisco have the DevNet certifications, and while this video course won't specifically be focused on DevNet, there certainly will be some overlap. And you're also just seeing more employers looking for this in general in their networks. In IT, there's a lot of things like infrastructure as code and just a lot of departments where automation is the norm. And network has been a little bit more slow to adopt that mentality. And I could talk for a long time about why, but that would be another video, and I might do that in the future. But I'd like to start kind of focusing on that idea here. And my inspiration for this came from talking with a friend of mine who's a very talented network engineer, but he said he was trying to get involved in the network automation world. That is just somewhere he wanted to go with his career, but he was having a hard time getting started. That he would start a book on Python, learn your basic hello world application. He'd have his methods, his if-else loops, but how do you apply that to your day-to-day network job? And if you're not applying that in your day-to-day, eventually it's not going to stick. You're going to forget, you're going to stop studying, and it's just going to go away, and you're going to start over from scratch again. And I've certainly been there. I've had many false starts at this myself when I was starting out. And a metaphor I really like for it is musical instruments. I think it relates a lot there too. A lot of times growing up, I would pick up a guitar, learn a few chords, put them together, but what I produced was not music or anything close to it. So how do you go from that basic understanding to something more applicable? And I think the solution for that in network programmability is having a project that you can use right out of the gate. So after we're doing a hello world, starting on a project that you can actually use in your day-to-day work. And having that, and you can extend upon it and build it and see how it's working. And that's really what's going to keep it going. So that's where I want to go with this. And then from there, we can start branching out into more diverse topics. But the required knowledge for this to get started is going to be Python. So I mentioned that the network programmability world is really vast. I feel like the one piece of glue that's really holds it together in a unified fashion is Python. Most of these technologies, even ones that don't use Python directly, like maybe say Ansible that has its own scripting language, Python is still going to be useful to know. So that's where we're going to start. And one thing I really like about Python is that even if you're not a Python expert, even if you have little to no experience, I think you're going to be all right. It's a very legible language. By that I mean you don't really have to be an expert to read the code and understand what it's doing, and I really like that about it. When I was getting started in IT, I was looking at programming, and I learned a little bit of Perl and C and Java, and it just never really resonated with me. And when I came to Python, I really enjoyed that, and I think it's because of that legibility of it. So I don't think even if you don't have a lot of Python experience, that'll be a big deal, but if you want more, it certainly doesn't hurt. And if you're trying to learn more Python, one way I'd recommend to do it is the Python Crash Course by Eric Mathis. It's a fantastic book. In no way related to it here, but it's just one of the ways that I learned, and it was really good. There's also a really good email correspondence course from a gentleman named Kirk Byers, specifically focused at network engineers and programming. So that's pretty good as well. So in our next video course, we're actually going to hit the ground running and start trying to set up this Python environment. So we're going to have a place that we can start producing this code. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.